hard. It's hard for me to remember being as disappointed in our team after a win as I am right now. What transpired in the second half is bothersome, and on the heels of a poor practice yesterday. It's for me. It's not a good feeling, and it's something that we need to get corrected sooner than later.
Jeff, you talk about more of the defensive end or just overall?
Overall, I mean, we had 13 turnovers. I mean, they're just not smart plays there. We didn't finish when we had opportunities. Certainly defensively, when you look at their shooting percentage, shooting 57.7% in the second half. But it all, I think, culminates with just not being ready to play. And you've got to give Loyola credit for coming out and playing with passion and intensity. But again, it's. I guess you reap what you sow, and our practice was just awful yesterday, and that's what we look like in the second half.
I guess they cut it 7. You got a bucket from X in the corner. You got another bucket from him. I mean, I think Kalu passed out of the post.
Kalu passed out of the post for X's 3. Kalu also down the stretch, and I don't remember exactly what the sequence was, but he got 2 halfbacks that are basically offensive rebounds that we got additional possessions, and I think at least one of them, if not both, we scored. So there's lots of different ways to contribute, and Kalu didn't have his best game, but he did make those big plays to get us additional possessions down the stretch.
It looked like Malik did some good things offensively down the stretch too when we needed some.
Yeah, I thought Malik started the game with an aggressive mindset, and they didn't really have a shot blocker in there, so right. He used his burst to get to the rim. Especially if he can get to that left hand, he's very effective going in there. He's just got to understand when he gets in there and there's no room. He's just got to Steve Nash it and live to fight another day.
Have you guys kind of figured out how you need to play? Obviously, you weren't happy with the way things went tonight, just in terms of just stylistically or even effort-wise.
I don't think stylistically wasn't the problem tonight. Yeah. It was about being excited to play. It was about playing with aggression and energy and focus. If it was simply a matter of playing hard, there'd be a whole lot of really good teams in the country. You've got to play hard, but you've also got to play smart, and you've got to be focused so that you, as a basketball team, you can understand what it is that wins games and differentiates good teams from bad teams. Again, it's a growth process, but being young, being inexperienced is not an excuse. Right. Not for some of the things that happened out there tonight. And if our guys are satisfied being mediocre, then we can just continue down this path that we've been on. If our guys want to decide and make a conscious decision that they want to try to be good, because there's not any guarantees, but if they want to try to be good, then they're going to learn and they're going to change some of these things, because you can't just flip it on and off like a light switch. It's either something that you have or you don't.
Were you shot selection just?
There was some of that is just they. I mean, in the second half, Loyola beat us. The same loose balls we beat them to in the first half, they beat us to.
Right.
We just careless passes. There's a whole laundry list that we'll address tomorrow.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks. You want to just talk about it?
Yeah. to say I'm disappointed with the NCAA's decision to deny A.J. Oliver's waiver would be a big understatement. It was heartbreaking for me to have to deliver the news to him this afternoon. I think a lot of people look at or think of the NCAA as just this kind of faceless, huge monopoly or organization. I, however, don't. I know a lot of people, a lot of good people, a lot of really smart people that work at the NCAA. But this is wrong. I'm intimately familiar with the specifics of other cases that have been granted. And if I was ranking them as to which individuals were most worthy, AJ would be at the top of the list. I don't think I should or am allowed to get into specifics, but I just don't, I can't put my arms around the inconsistency. And just so this is not, I'm not saying this is not an emotional. I've thought about this all afternoon, right? So I mean, I understand what I'm saying. I've come to the conclusion that the NCAA has to do something about this transfer situation in the waiver, because as it exists right now, it's wrong, it's flawed. They need to address it, and I mean, I've swung completely to the opposite side of the argument, and to the point where now is, I think the waiver policy process is so flawed that the only place to go is to allow any student athlete in any sport a one-time transfer exception and go without having to sit out. And if you want to transfer a second time as a graduate student or something else, then you got to sit out. But there's no waivers, there's no exceptions, because as it exists now, I think it's an injustice.
Do they get into specifics with you, or they just say, no, we're
No.
not going to? It's just yes or no?
It didn't merit relief or something. I don't know what the quote was.
Okay. I know particular situations we don't want to get into too much, but he basically was a Clemson, left, his mother.
Yeah,
was a coach there.
again,
Okay.
I don't want to, and I'm not sure I'm
Yeah.
allowed to
Okay.
get into the
So
specifics.
do you know when he'd be eligible? Is it the 14th? or
He
is it-
will, I mean, that, I guess if there's a light at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah.
or silver lining, I guess, he'll be eligible to play against Illinois when we go to Illinois
Semester.
after the exams end. So,
Okay.
that's, we're excited. I'm glad that we have AJ as a person, as a human being in our basketball family, and we'll be very excited to have him be able to join us on the court on, well, I don't need to know the date, but for that
Yeah,
Illinois
14th, I
game.
think. Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Just sticking to the script. Coach Jones just said keep playing. In basketball, every team makes a run, so we knew the run was coming. But he just said keep playing, and that's what we did.
Yes, sir. We should just play better in the second half, to be honest. Kept the intensity, built the one on defense, but, we got the win.
What's been the biggest adjustment for you coming to a new system, coming out of junior college and having to run the team? It's a lot to put on your shoulders.
Yes, but it's no pressure. It's just getting the ball where it needs to go. you know, exactly when it needs to be there for the shooters, Marquise, X, and, you know, just take care of the ball.
How do you know when to kind of look for your own shot? Because I know you want to distribute, but you also want to, when it's there, you got to
when it breaks down, when the offense breaks down, transition.
Yeah. Jason, what are you trying to bring when you come in? I know you usually get your hands on the ball here or there and
Right.
kind of mess things up a little bit.
Right. That's all I'm trying to do. Just be a menace. Try to create as much chaos as possible so the teams can run their sets and just bring some energy.
How is this team different than last year? I know you had the 2 scorers last year that kind of everything ran through Ahmad and BJ, and it's like you got maybe more interchangeable parts this year. You guys
Right.
play full court a little bit more, maybe?
Yes, sir, definitely. Like you said, last year we had 2 main scorers. This year it seems like if like one guy's not clicking, it's just next man up. And tonight that man was Lee, and he carried us, especially down the stretch during the second half.
Did they do anything differently offensively? Or were they just hitting shots more than they did in the first half?
Just hitting shots, and we didn't get back on defense like how we did in the first half, so kind of opened up for them.
How's your comfort level now? Is your 3rd game as opposed to the first 2? You're getting more comfortable each game? Or?
I'm just trying to get coach's trust. That's all I need. Once I get his trust, I feel like I'm good to go.
Right. I think I'm good. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.